And as part of that Challenge 12, I found there was a charity called Aspire who run it was a 12-week challenge, and it was to swim the distance of the channel, which was, I think it's 22 miles, 21 miles, in a pool.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, that's a 12-week challenge. I'm trying to do 12 challenges in 12 months, so I'll try and swim that in a month. I loved swimming at that stage anyway. I used to swim a couple of times a week. Not particularly well, but just for fitness. And so I did the channel swim in a pool. I think over the course of about 2 or 3 weeks, just ticked off the distance. And then I got an email from them just saying, thank you for completing it. Did you know that we also, you can also swim the actual channel? And I thought, what? This sounds amazing. So I got in contact with them and said, I'm really interested. And they explained, it's all part of a relay team. There'll be 6 of you swimming. We have assessment days. Come along to the assessment day. We'll put you through some swimming tests, etc., etc. And that stage, I thought, I've not done really anything like this. Over that course of the year, I'd done, I think, 3 ultra marathons, so 100 Ks, not running them all. I did a mixture of running, walking, got through them, kind of they were 24-hour cut-off times, and I loved it. And I was absolutely broken after all of them, like entirely broken. But I absolutely loved it, of kind of getting to that point where I felt, 60 kilometers, whatever. And I thought, I can't go on. I've got another 40 kilometers. My feet hurt. Everything hurts. I can't do this. And then that refusal to say, no, go on. You can go on for another 10K. Then I'll be at 70. Then I was like, there's only 30K left now. Then I'll be at 80. And I was like, well, I'm almost there now. I've done 80. There's only 20 kilometers left to go. Let's go. So I think from doing those ultras, I'd realized that I could push myself way further out of my comfort zone than I initially realized, and I loved it, which I think is really important. I've got loads of friends that run, and all they ever say is, I hate running so much. And I say to them, why are you doing it? If you hate it, don't do it. Only do it. Don't do it because you think you should be doing it because it's good for you. Or I said, there's so many ways you can get outside. Find something that you love and do that, because then you'll want to go and do it every day. And I'm never ever going to be a decent ultra runner. At all. But I will sign up for another 10 ultras and I know I'll get through them. I'm never going to be in probably the top half of the field, but I absolutely adore them. And so that's how I guess I stumbled into the channel swim completely by accident, really. And I just thought, I've never swum open water. I can swim in a pool. I had no idea how fast I was compared to anyone else. Because I'd never swum, I hadn't ever club swum or anything. I always just swam laps by myself in the evening. So I kind of turned up at the assessment day thinking they're either going to laugh at me and say to me, come back next year, or or this is going to be absolutely fine. And it was one of the most amazing days, actually. There was people there that could swim. You kind of have to put in a mile time, and they test you over a mile basically to find your time. And there was people there that were swimming it in 22 minutes. There was people there that were swimming it in 45 minutes. And they create these relay teams and they put 6 of you together. And as long as they're happy that they think you're going to be able to acclimatise, because the water is cold in the channel. You're not allowed to wear wetsuits.
Yeah. What time of year was this?
So the first one I did was the very beginning of June, I think. And the water was about 12.5, 13 degrees.
That's it, yeah.
Yes,
it's not too bad.
I used to make ice baths at work, which an ice bath used to be about 9 degrees, 10 degrees, so it's not far off. So I turned up the assessment day, and then there was all these people there, and I got put into a relay team, and you do the training down at Dover on the beach. It's all done by the Channel Swim Association, or CSPF. So you have to pass all these kind of 2-hour swim tests, etc. And then I did the first one, and again, that for me, that was completely out of my comfort zone. So I'd never swum in the sea before. I live in the middle of the Midlands, so pretty much as far away from the sea as you can get. I mean, I've grown up loving water. I spend kind of as much time as I can on the water, but I'd never swum in the sea properly. So it was loads of firsts, and it was a big learning curve. But again, it was just that pushing myself kind of out of the comfort zone. It was, I loved it. And then I did the first one, and then a couple of weeks later, one of the other teams had someone drop out and they needed a swimmer. So I just stepped in and did a second one.
Awesome. How long after was that?
The second one.
After the first one? The second one, sorry, yeah, after the first
about
one.
2 months, I think. Yeah.
So do you, I would assume you'd obviously recovered a lot by then.
Yes. So, I mean, and when you're swimming in a relay as well, there's 6 of you on the team.
Yeah.
So you swim for an hour, and then you get back on the boat, and then they rotate through the other swimmers. It depends massively as well on tides, on whether the first one I had a very good team. There were some very good swimmers in the team.
Yeah.
And it took us, I think, 16 hours, the first one, I think.
Okay.
The second one, same distance, obviously. Very similar standard team. There was a couple of very fast people on the team. And it took us, I think, 11 hours 20.
Okay.
Just vastly different conditions. That came down. I mean, that planted a seed about doing it solo. Which is still there. A couple of the people I swam with on the first team are doing it, are training for it, to do it solo, and